Hey, what's up, YouTube? Goratha here. So today I'm going to talk about how day 2 went for me on my Poison Spark character. First off, I want to say this character has been a blast to play. It's been really nice mapping. The target's a bit lower than I would like early on, but it is very much ramping very hard, so not really expecting that to be a problem for much longer. And yeah, I have a lot of stuff I've learned, and just want to go over it real quick for you guys. Kind of give you guys some nice direction to go into with some of the items to go for. And yeah, talk about some of my choices. So let's get into it. Elemental Overload. So before the league, I was misinformed by multiple sources that Elemental Overload was bugged and wasn't applying poison if you crit. The PoE Wiki, POV, and my Twitch chat, unfortunately, misled me. It does actually work. So EO is really, really good. For this character, I believe the Scepter is the best way to go. The Oscillating Scepter. Pathing over to EO is pretty far away. You could technically get it with a Massive Thread, I believe, somewhere around here. Yeah, not a big fan of actually pathing there, I think. Takes too many points. I prefer this pathing here. So the best option there is to just grab the Heist Scepter. Now, I crafted my Heist Scepter with Harvest Reforged Lightning. I believe this is the way to go, or Essence of Misery is pretty good. Essence of Torment is pretty good. Yeah, I think endgame is going to be like either a multi-mod Scepter for me, or trying to fracture like +1 or something. Most important stats here are cast speed, dot multi, percent lightning damage, flat lightning damage, plus gem levels, like lightning and spell, very strong. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Lightning and chaos damage, by the way, are pretty much interchangeable. Lightning damage is slightly worse if you have multiple sources of damage types, such as cold damage and like fire damage. But they're pretty similar, and lightning damage makes your hit harder, so you get a bigger shock. Right now, my shocks are actually pretty insane. I'm getting like 25, 30 shocks on T16 bosses. Part of that is because I have Overshock on my current cluster. Wasn't really planning on going for that, but it kind of ended up happening. Also, Disorientating Display has been really, really nice. I think I'm going to put this in the guide probably. This is really good when you have high evasion. Blind scales really well with high evasion. So right now, my current setup is running 17,000 evasion without a flask up, and it goes to 21,000 evasion with the flask up without even having evasion mod on it. Yeah, this is insane. 76% chance to evade. You take a look here, if you take off blind, it goes down to 72%. So it's 4% evade chance, which is insane. Blind's very strong. Definitely go for that. Part of the reason why I'm so tanky is I have a big necrotic armor I got from the lead mechanic. This is the best way to get tanky, getting a big evasion ES chest piece. Yeah, not much to say about it. Make sure you get Fizzing and Zelly. And if you get a big evasion chest, make sure you take the mastery as well. Keep that in mind. Noticed a lot of people, like for example, yesterday in my Twitch chat, someone said they were squishy, and I asked what they're wearing on their body armor, and they said a tabula. And most of your base defense stats are coming from your body armor, so keep that in mind. You're going to be really squishy if you have a bad body armor. And honestly, there's no excuse this season. The lead mechanic gives you so many good items, and it's really easy to get a good rare this season. So that's the high priority. Lethe Shade. Another thing that is not quite working as expected is Lethe. So I'm actually not even taking Lethe Shade anymore. The main reason for this is it doesn't seem to be working with the chill or the poison. Now, initially I thought I was going to work with the chill, but after testing, it does seem like it only applies the chill when you're poisoned from Ice Fang, and it doesn't scale the duration of Lethe. And unfortunately, Lethe doesn't scale your reflected ailments, and Golden Rule counts as reflect. So Lethe doesn't work for that. Normally, I would still take this because it's insane for the damage reduction, but if you're running the Arcane Righteous Fire, yeah, you don't get the damage reduction. So I'm just not running it right now because I really like the RF for damage. Eventually, I might actually drop Instinct as well when I get better gear with suppression. Right now, I don't have any suppression on my gear. Almost all of it's coming from the tree alone, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, keep that in mind. Wither. So right now, my Wither is still just Withering Step. I think on bosses, though, it would be way better if I had a Wither Totem setup. Wither Totem setup would be replacing probably the Plague Bearer and Casting Shaken or something like that. I changed my gems up a little bit. I'm using Casting Shaken Sealskin now. I kind of combined my Withering Step with Arcane Surge and added a faster casting in. Changed it up a little bit. Nothing too crazy here, but basically I dropped Orb of Storms and just put Arcane Surge on my dash and stuff. Orb Storms is pretty nice early on, especially when your damage is low, but once you get enough prod speed, you're really never standing in it and hitting monsters, other than maybe a boss. So Orb Storm is a good early setup, they drop later. Despair Balance. So this is by far the best way to get Wither. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten it yet because I'm playing on hardcore, and it just hasn't existed yet. I'll probably have to farm this myself. They roll different variations, and the one you're looking for is whenever you cast Despair, you get Wither for 2 seconds. Whenever you cast Despair for 10 seconds, you get 2-second Wither. I believe this does scale off duration, so it lasts for a long time if you're playing a Spark build because you have a lot of duration on the tree. Very strong item. Yeah, I mean, go for that as soon as possible, honestly. Mana is really annoying for a lot of people. I'm still using my Enduring Mana Flask, and I think it's okay for me. I'm running it with Arcane Chemistry and Mind Drinker, and also have some mana regen from Arcane Surge and Cold Hard Calculation. This is all great to me, honestly. I have no plans on dropping the Mana Flask anytime soon, but I know a lot of people don't like clicking Mana Flask, so I will give you guys a couple options here. Reduce mana cost and mana regen. So, unfortunately, with Reverse Chill, you can't craft multiple minus mana crafts, but you can craft minus mana on the Amulet. That's one part of the puzzle. You can grab Dreamer for reduced mana cost of skills, and you can also grab reduced mana cost of skills on the Mana Mastery. Past that, you probably should get some mana regen, probably on your Amulet as well, because it can't really roll on the rings, obviously, and maybe on a Scepter. So it's going to be pretty rough to work mana in. Obviously, you're also running Inspiration here. Yeah, it's a little rough to actually run mana and not use a Mana Flask. The other option would be Life Tap, but you need a lot of life regen and life recovery. You definitely need at least Instant Leech Mastery, probably, along with some Lightning Leech on your gloves, or Doriani, like Cluster Jewel. Maybe it would work. Life Tap is a little worse on a support gem as well, but you just replace Inspiration, basically. You'd also lose Arcane Surge and the Citadel Power, which is pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean very good. Eventually, I think Whispers might be the super endgame option, but it's now an Uber drop, so not really playing around it anymore. If you're playing softcore and you have a lot of currency, though, Whispers is pretty good. You maybe swap to like a more ES-based setup. Definitely something to look out for. You may notice I'm not using Aseneth's Gentle Touch. So initially, before the league, I was also planning on using that, but I didn't test it with Ice Fang. Ice Fang makes it so your corpses are getting shattered. Yeah, it doesn't really interact very well, so I'm actually just not using it. So far, my clear has felt really good without it, to be honest with you, so I'm not too worried about it. If you have issues with the clear, though, you're doing like some super juice content and you want more clear, you can run the new Foulborn Embalmer, which gives poison prolif, or the new Foulborn Witchbane, which grants some explosion, like chaos explosions. I personally actually really want to run the Foulborn Witchbane and get like Despair or Temp Chains on a rare pair of gloves, like Corrupted or something. That's what I'm going for. I mean, eventually, if you're super rich, you could do like Soul Ascension. Soul Ascension is another Uber drop. And I mean, if you're super, super rich, you could go for like Despair or Temp Chains on hit Soul Ascension. That would be like the Giga setup. Yep. Pretty much all I have to talk about with the gloves. Breachgrafts. So I didn't really talk about this yesterday, but there's a couple Breachgrafts that I have really high opinion of. First one is Heart of Flame. This is the Castaner Shaken Softcraft. It grants you a big defensive shield. It's just better than any guard skill in the game, honestly. It's very, very strong. This can roll with strength, and it can roll with flat fire damage. Currently, I am actually running it with flat fire damage, so I can ignite. The idea behind that is I would eventually run a Sadist large cluster and get a bunch of LA damage from that. Probably replacing Overshock. Using Disorienting Display Sadist would be pretty nice. Prismatic Heart's pretty good too, and like I said, Dorian's Lesson's pretty good as well for some leech. Falling Crystals. Falling Crystals works really well with the Chill Mastery. By the way, like if you're not running this Chill Mastery, it slows the game down by so much. Every single monster is chilled by 24%. It's kind of hard to explain how good this is without you actually trying it out. But if you actually have you tried this out, this is absurd. You're scaling ailment effect already because unbound ailments, like ailment effect on the tree, chill effect here. 24% chill on everything, even bosses, is crazy. Make sure you run this mastery if you're struggling at all with defenses. This will make your character feel way tankier because you're just not getting hit very much. Wreath and Light. So Wreath and Light is the Radiant Ground Breachgraft. This will grant you lucky damage and flat lightning damage. Flat lightning damage is the best part of that. Lucky doesn't actually apply to the ailments. Yeah, lucky damage is really not doing that much. I mean, it might make your shocks a little bit higher, but this does not apply to ailments. I don't know why it doesn't apply to ailments, but I just know it doesn't. Bloodlines. So I'm actually running the Feral Bloodline. This wasn't my plan before the league, but the Hunt Leader Feral node is really, really strong. This is like 35 cast speed and some crit chance, which is absurd. They're pretty much always up. They also tank monsters for you, which is a good thing and a bad thing potentially. Like you might get slammed because they're targeting your tigers, but they also just tank monsters instead of you sometimes, so it's pretty nice in that way. Very good Ascensi node. You could also consider taking Feral's Will and using like the turtle or something, or like one of the ritual beast vectors. Would probably go for Fertile Will for the 100% damage. It can't be sunned. But yeah, pretty good option with Feral. I still think the best defensive option is probably Otherworldly Appendages. And you could maybe run the Fizz, like hand Breachgraft to get the less Fizz damage taken. And the Soft Graft for the less fire damage taken. Yeah. I mean, this is the best defensively. Fire damage, less fire damage taken would help the Righteous Fire degen as well. And yeah, pretty much everything I want to talk about the gear, honestly. Not too much else to say here. I would say if you're playing softcore and you don't like my aura setup, Malevolence is really, really good damage. I want to run Malevolence myself eventually. Unfortunately, I'm focusing on defenses more than anything. You can see, like, this is 40% more damage. It's absurd. Very, very strong. I definitely want to run it. Now, if you want to run it earlier, you can drop either Tempest Shield or Arctic Armor. Keep in mind you have to solve one of those another way. I guess you could technically run Khan here and get some less shock effect, and then run some jewels for less shock effect and drop Tempest Shield. That's okay, honestly. You could do that and then run like the Mana Mastery or maybe Charisma here, and that would be pretty decent. I'm not even running the less mana reservation currently because I don't really need the mana. And you can also run a Leighton. So if I run it like that, this would probably be okay. And then you could like throw in like this over here instead. Something like this here, and then run Malevolence like that. And then you have Malevolence in. Honestly, I might just do this after I end the video. I might just do this. It's like pretty easy if I get in Leighton. And pretty much everything I have to talk about today. I'll keep you guys updated tomorrow as well after I blast through today. I haven't died yet. Hopefully I don't die today. Hopefully I can keep updating you guys on this. But that's my ideas here in the future of what I'm going for and what I think you should go for. Like I said, I'm also gonna drop these eventually for suppression on gear. Yep. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.